Hey, welcome back to the vlog and channel, everybody. Thanks for clicking on the video. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Really quick, I just want to show some of y'all my Metazoo decks. And again, at the time when I was assembling, especially this deck, I had a lot of sealed Metazoo decks. At the time when Metazoo was, obviously when it was still hot commodity, I didn't want to risk opening up any of my sealed decks. So what I did was I found a deck list online. I built that pre-con deck. From there, I altered it and made it my own. This is not the original deck. This is kind of where it's evolved now. It'd be funny to show you. Well, I wish I could show you what the original stages were on building and constructing this deck, but to get it to this point, I had to play a few matches. Well, I had to play more than a few matches, figure out which cards I like, which ones I don't like, which ones I'm gonna keep on sideboard. These cards I want to swap in and out of. But this is kind of like a near finalized deck that this one's kind of my baby. This one's kind of my pride and joy because this is one of the ones that I got really serious into it. And then so this is the deck that if we determine to play the fourth wall breaks, this card, when I dress up and cater to this deck and get everything prepared for the playability of this deck is pretty good. So, starting off with Edgar. Again, what's nice about this deck is I try to be a little bit thoughtful. This originally was, I took the deck list off of a Wilderness pre-con deck that I found online, and then from there I originally played with that deck, see what I liked, see what I didn't, and then what I accommodated for was, it's not all just Wilderness. I've got a little bit of UFO in here, got a little bit of Nightfall in here, got a little bit of Seance in here. So that's kind of what I really like about this deck a lot, is I'm trying to accommodate for other sets. And I'm not sure if I have Cryptid Nation in here a whole lot, but Hatman's one of my favorite cards to play with. Let's see, same with, I'm not even sure if it's going to be in here or not, but Golden Hair Girl is probably one of my favorite cards that I also like to play with as well. Yep, there's Cryptid Nation. But I need more Cryptid Nation cards to feature in more of my decks. And I did the same thing with the auras as well. We got some Nightfall, UFO, some Seance, and then some Cryptid Nation, and then obviously some Wilderness. So this one's kind of a near spiced up one. I can make it spicier and pop in some reverse hollows and hollows if I want to. I haven't thought about that far with it because this one I do play with the most. So in case if I actually ding up a card, I really don't want to ding up a hollow per se. I might want to think about that. Because I definitely do. I like spicing up some decks with reverse hollows, but full hollows, not a whole lot, everybody. Except, again, this one. I'm going to swallow my own words on this one because this one does have full hollows. This one's special accommodation. Obviously, Snipe is one of my favorite cards. Shout out to Catching Cryptids. I am the Snipe Master. So, Snipe, I freaking love Snipe. This is one of my favorite cryptids. For those of you that have known me by now for a while now, with my channel, y'all will know that Snipe is my absolute favorite cryptid. In all of Metazoo. But I figured time to play with the Snipe now, right? This deck, okay. I'm thinking about maybe running like why am I stuttering on it? Quetzalcoatlus. He's in the sideboard. I'm kind of on the fence if I want to run two of them. And I'm not entirely sure, but I will experiment with it because I do have Iowa Dragon. We have a Reverse Joe, Spring Heel Jack, Explosive Rabbit. This one, I am eagerly really trying to get my play group back in Metazoo, so we can play some Metazoo so I can run this deck. I'm really curious to see how this one plays, and from there it'll determine on what I do with it next, because this deck right now, as of right now, so I've already altered this. I've already made the changes that I want to change. This one I'm feeling maybe like 85% about. Until I actually play with this one, that'll determine on how much more I want to amp up with this deck. So that's where this one's at. This one, however, this one is as good as it's going to get for now until I dive into the entire card list of Cryptid Nation and pull from there and see what is going to enhance this deck even more. But for right now, I'm about 85% in with this one. This one I'm at about like a good like 98% fulfillment with this one. This one, again, when I was learning how to assemble Metazoo decks, this was like my first kind of like experiment of that. So this is why this one's like my most pride and joy, because this one right now, like this has a pretty good balance. This can match up pretty well with like beginner, intermediate deck skills, expert decks. It depends on which cards I draw. Obviously, if I'm playing someone that's been playing Metazoo like on a really high level, yeah, they're definitely probably gonna smoke me. But just for casual play, this one holds up pretty well on its own. I'm not gonna hype it up and say it's really good. Because again, it literally all determines on what cards you're drawn. Not cards, cards. Just really determines on what you're gonna be drawn, what your hand looks like, all that fun stuff. But anyways, this one's a pretty fun one. This one, again, probably take it down a couple notches. This one I really am eagerly wanting to try this out. Obviously, Snallygaster, I can have one per spell book. I can only have one per spell book on this. This one, I'm kind of on the push on. I want all my cards in here to be kind of like one per spell book. We'll see. We shall see. But it's going to be a lot of... Every time I assemble a deck, it takes a lot of brain power out of me, because I'm really trying to think of... It's like a chess match. It's like playing a game of chess. It's like I'm trying to think of like 5 to 10 moves ahead, you know. But again, the energy that I put into this one for now, I'm fairly satisfied with this one. Again, I think I might try matching this deck up with the one in here of Snipe. I might just do a practice run one of these days and see what changes that can be made on both. So I think that'd be a good twofer, as in like a good 2-for-1, you know. I get to experience both of these decks, find out their strengths, find out their weaknesses, and go from there. But as of right now, these are my 3 most complete decks that I do comfortably feel satisfied with. Again, just ignore some of the percentages that I've already laid out with some of these, but again, I'm going to keep it to, these are my 3 most satisfied decks that I'm running currently with Metazoo. And obviously, I want to try finding ways on amping these 3. Because again, I love Metazoo. And again, I just want to show you all just kind of like a different kind of video here on just highlighting decks. And if you saw a deck in here that you want to build for yourself, feel free, go back, pause, go through, or just even go online. Pull up a card list and get all your bulk cards out. It's a great opportunity to utilize some of that bulk. You know, make a few decks, run a few decks, play them, just have fun. I mean, this is what Metazoo is all about, right? Peace out, stay safe, have fun, everybody. Catch y'all soon.